There was a happy look on Hannah's face. Mrs. H. Really? Yes. It seems that all the clothes I brought fit you perfectly, making all this effort very rewarding. Oh, but this outer coat is very thin. Even if it is spring, it will still be cold at night. From what Fenric and Hannah were saying, it seemed like they were making out. But suddenly? She had no idea where they were headed or what their purpose was. To say she wasn't worried would be a lie, but there wasn't much she could do about it. I think this outfit will be the best. The coat Hannah had dressed her in was black, with a thick fur lining that looked exceptionally warm. But should she really have accepted something like this so easily? It seemed expensive at first glance. However, voicing such concerns seemed somewhat impolite, so Presepe decided to remain silent. The dark color won't make you stand out either. Do you like it? I love all of this. Hannah, you have a keen eye. I don't really know how to dress like this. When Hannah heard Presepe's words, she smiled cheerfully. This makes me so happy. I was really worried. I thought I might not be useful to you. Don't say that. Thanks to you, I'm not bored and I'm adjusting well. I'm really glad you're here, Hannah. She meant what she said. Although Fenric was understanding in many ways, she felt more comfortable with Hannah and spent more time with her. Hannah blushed and smiled shyly. Thank you. But I won't tell Lord Fenric about this. Huh? Why not? I think he might feel a little neglected. For him? This didn't seem likely at all. While Presepe was thinking about it, a voice interrupted her thoughts. What might I feel left out of? When she turned her head, she saw Fenric leaning casually in the doorway. Oh, well, Hannah hesitated in confusion, but Fenric paid her no attention and entered the room. He looked directly at Presepe and asked her, Have you done anything that might upset me, Presepe? Although the question lingered in the air, Presepe didn't have a real answer. Repeating what she had just heard seemed like something only a fool would do. But she couldn't think of a good excuse either. I don't think so, but, in a panic, Presepe looked at Hannah desperately. Help. Anything. You're closer to him than me, aren't you? She said she's really happy to have you here, Fenric. But Hannah betrayed her spectacularly. She said thank you, she is not bored and copes well. No, you weren't supposed to put it that way. Although it wasn't completely wrong, it was. Fenric didn't reply, just stared at Presepe for a moment before chuckling quietly to himself. Shall we go? Yes, it would have been better to change the subject. Hannah, who had left them behind, watched them leave with a bright smile, although Presepe had no way of knowing that. After leaving the palace, Presepe faced an unexpected challenge. We ride horses? Duke Fenric? I assumed they would use a cart again, but that didn't seem to be the case this time. Looking at the horse in front of her, Presepe couldn't help but look uncomfortable. The man famous for his many accomplishments in war must also ride a fine horse. The monster in front of her was huge, exuding a terrifying presence even as it stood still. He may be fierce, but there is no horse in Italia faster than this one. It sure looked fast. Although a carriage wouldn't be a bad option, riding a horse is a more practical option for this trip. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to ride a horse. Even if it wasn't a scary beast but the cutest horse in the world, it wouldn't matter. She doesn't know how to ride at all. Fenric laughed softly and looked at her, saying, even if you knew how, you wouldn't ride alone. Pardon? Excuse me for a moment. Before she could fully process his words, Fenric's large hand grabbed her waist. Without any effort, as if she weighed nothing, he lifted Presepe onto the horse. Then, just as easily, he stepped up behind her. This way, you won't have to worry. The low voice behind her made Presepe pause for a moment. I'll ride as slowly as I can, but if you feel cold or afraid, don't hesitate to tell me. Yes. As soon as the answer left her lips, Fenric gripped the reins tightly. Moments later, the horse galloped down the wide road. Unlike before, when they always traveled by carriage, this was the first time Presepe had ridden a horse. It was a bit scary, and the wind stinging her face was making her feel even colder. But this feeling did not last long. The warmth emanating from behind her was comforting, and the soft breathing that tickled her ear was enough to make her forget the cold. To be more precise, her entire focus was on the warmth behind her back, making her unaware of the cold and her fear. They felt like they had been riding for about 30 minutes. At first, she had no idea where they were headed, but soon familiar sights began to appear to her. It was the same scene she had seen a few days ago, on the day they left the palace. Places she passed while riding in a carriage. Capital Market. But something seemed strange. Even though it was late, the market was crowded with people much more than last time. Was there something going on here? I'll help you get down. Before she could even consider that thought, Fenric easily got down and extended his hand to Presepe. Once he lifted her onto the horse, he gently placed her on the ground. Duke Fenric, isn't this the market? This is correct. I'm not sure what the market has to do with the desire you promised to fulfill, they are closely related. Fenric laughed as he answered. Do you remember what I told you yesterday? About the festival that will be held soon? It's not an event hosted by the palace, so it's not a very lavish event, but it's still a festival. Market sellers, in particular, see it as a great opportunity. Ah, now that he mentioned it, I vaguely remembered it. The day she left the palace, after asking about the murder of Prince Atari. They used the change of seasons and the blooming of flowers as an excuse for the festival. As the cold subsides and spring approaches, the flowers will soon bloom. It's the perfect excuse for a festival. You'll see a lot of flowers you like too, Presepe. And now, Presepe, you can visit places like this. But I can't go to such places. I must always stay here. Didn't you say earlier that you were interested in the outside world? Could there be a better opportunity than today? This is my wish, to enjoy this festival with you, please. She did not expect him to remember those words, nor did she think that he would make such a wish. She assumed he would ask for something big, but instead, his wish turned into a kind and sympathetic gesture entirely for her. It was so unexpected and sudden that she found herself playing with her hands out of nervousness. Thank you, Duke Fenric. Why? For everything. And, please make a different wish later. I feel like this wish will do me a lot of good. It won't happen. Fenric smiled weakly as he responded. Presepe, you may not realize it, but this has been a long-standing desire of mine. He wasn't exaggerating. For so long it seemed almost like a dream, Fenric had wished for a moment like this, standing side by side with Precipice at this festival. This was the place where they met for the first time, at this very festival. Even if Presepe couldn't remember, he remembered, and that was enough for him. Desire. Fenric laughed softly and took a slow look around. The market was already bustling with people. If it was this crowded at the entrance, the inside would certainly be even more crowded. Your hands, Fenric extended his hand to Presepe. Are you going to hold her? I'm afraid of losing you. Fenric looked at her small, pale hand in his and then intertwined his long fingers in hers, locking them together. Satisfied, he smiled. Now I won't lose you. Ah yes, shall we go? With these words, Fenric began to walk, with slow, measured steps.